to start. Okay, here we go. 1-5 today, segments, midpoints, and bisectors. So we've done all the other stuff. We've worked with segments. We've had like a random point on segments. Now we have a midpoint, and then today we're going to learn what bisecting means. So, really quick refresher on midpoint. Does anybody remember? It's the middle point. Good. A point in the middle of a segment. The point in the middle of a segment. And then we abbreviated by doing the M with the circle. That was our midpoint. All right, so when you guys and girls took the quiz on Friday, okay, I noticed, well, and actually both quizzes, I noticed that we were having lots of trouble distinguishing between a number line and a coordinate plane. So if it's on this, if it's just a number line, there's only one answer. But if it's in a coordinate plane, there has to be an X and a Y. Okay, so if I'm looking, this is a number line. On the back board, I labeled for you guys number line, and then I have D equals and M equals. This one's the M. This is where I add A plus B, so I'm adding those endpoints, right? And then I'm dividing by 2. So what is my first endpoint? Because it's not an A on this one. What is it? It's R. So what's R? So -2 plus, what's my second one? 9, and then divided by 2. What's -2 plus 9? Can I reduce that anymore? I can make it a decimal, absolutely, but if you like fractions, I will take either one of those answers. So those are the same. Those are not different. Those are the same answers. 7.5 equals 3.5. One's a fraction, one's a decimal. All right, and then example 2. So this is nothing new. This is all stuff that was on this quiz. And y'all all, when I handed this quiz out, lots of people were like, Miss, we never did this before in my life. What does this look like? What is that? It is a segment. So I can draw a line segment and label it AC. And I haven't done any math at all yet. All I did was draw the picture of what the problem says. And then I have to put B in the midpoint. So somewhere, and actually not somewhere, actually in the very middle, B is the midpoint. Now, it does not matter to me, like, at all what this says, but I'm going to label my picture because it says from A to B, I have Z plus 2. So I don't care what it says, I'm just going to label, right? So from point A to point B, I'm going to stick Z plus 2 in between there because that's what they tell me that's what that is. Then, from B to C, I have 2Z minus 6. Remember I told you that a lot of the problems in math are going to stem from you guys not drawing pictures? Okay, so I drew a picture and I labeled. I don't know anything at all about what they're asking me, but I know that B is the midpoint, and what does that mean? What does midpoint mean? It's in the middle, so what do I know about the left side and the right side?
They're both equal the same.
Okay, what symbol is equal? Because that's what you just told me. They both equal the same. So this side, Z plus 2, equals this side, 2Z minus 6, right? They're equal. That's your math equation, right? That was all of the geometry right there. We drew the picture, we labeled, and we knew the definition of B, the midpoint. So I knew how to make my equation. Now, once you have your equation, now you're solving for your letter. In this case, it's a Z. So what do you want to do first? I can keep things positive or negative. It doesn't matter, whichever way y'all want to do it. I would probably add 6 to try to keep things positive. So on the right, I'm going to bring down that z. 2 plus 6 is 8. And I have 2z left over on that side. Okay, I'm going to move that 2z out of the way. So minus 2z. Did I do this wrong? Oh, because I'm moving the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I'm going to put z's on the same side. So I need to move z instead. So minus z. That's what I need to do. And then I have 8 by itself. It's just backwards. So 8 on the left equals 2 minus 1. So z equals 8. All right, so in second period, I did ask them, is that 1 necessary? Do I have to have that there? No, but you do have to remember that if it's not there, it's always a 1. All right, example 3. Find the coordinates of the midpoint. So this one, coordinates of the midpoint, and they gave me an x and a y. So I know I'm going to have a formula. x1, y1, x2, y2. There's a formula that goes with this. And it's going to be midpoint. So I need midpoint on the coordinate plane. Okay, you're going to add your x's, x1 plus x2, and then add your y's, y1 plus y2. Okay, which numbers did I label for my x's? -2 and 3, so I'm going to have -2 plus 3 over 2. And then what about my y's? Not minus. There we go. Good. 4 plus 1 over 2. One more step. What's -2 plus 3? There we go. 1 over 2. And then what's 4 plus 1? Can any of that be reduced any further? Man, I'm writing horribly today. I'm sorry. Like, I'm writing like a kindergartner. Those cannot be reduced anymore, so those are my final answers. 1/2 and 5 over 2. If you like the decimals, that's fine. To me, if you look, they don't really look as pretty. Right? Decimals kind of, there's too many dots and commas, in my opinion. I like it better with fractions. I know, we got lots of notes today, but the good thing is you're not going to have homework. Okay, so just think about that. No homework tonight. We just got to get through these notes. All right, M is the midpoint of AB. So here we go again. I have no idea. Okay, if you want, you can label X, Y, X, Y, and then you can start to try to do the formula, but you're going to notice you're trying to find the coordinates of B, not M. So this is the one where you have to draw that picture. So if you have A to B, because that's what they tell me is segment AB, and M is the midpoint, and then label what they give you. They gave me an X and a Y, so I know I have to split those. X is on top, Y is on bottom. And then you do your number line. So A, my X is 3, and my Y is 5. And then M is a -2 and a 1. All right. You're counting for me. How do I get, on the X's, how do I get from a +3 to a -2? What do I have to add or subtract? +3 minus 5 equals -2. So now from M to B, I have to subtract 5 again. So negative 2 minus 5 is negative 7. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing for the Y's. From 5 to 1, how do I get from A to M?
Minus 4.
Minus 4. So again, from M to B, minus 4. So 1 minus 4, negative 3, and then make it look pretty like a point for me. B is negative 7, comma, negative 3. Pictures. Pictures are key. All right. A segment bisector today. This is our longest definition. It's going to take 3 lines. So if you like to write ginormous, maybe squunch it up just a little bit. All right, a segment bisector. And I actually want to talk about this just so you kind of know what, like, to kind of relate it to. So we're going to switch gears a little bit, real quick, to science, right? In science, you dissect things, correct? Okay, when you dissect something in science, where are you cutting? Are you, like, going to cut an arm off? Like, if I'm dissecting a frog, I'm going to just, like, chop an arm and look in there? No, where are you going to dissect your frog? Down the middle, right? So if I'm going to bisect something in math, if I bisect a segment, where do you think I'm going to cut it? Am I going to cut just a piece off? I'm going to cut it down the middle. So if I'm going to bisect something, it's going to be down the middle. Same thing like in science or anything like that. In math, we bisect down the middle. So it is, a bisector is a point, a line, or plane. Remember I told you this one's kind of long. A point, a line, or a plane that intersects a segment at its midpoint. It splits the segment into 2 equal parts. Okay. I'll let you copy for a moment. Write it pretty, it's fine. I'm not going to force you to, I'm not going to move it. I need to bring some Lysol too. Like, I am not getting sick. It's not happening. Watch next week. Okay, so a segment bisector, we're going to label it with a little b and a circle. Honestly, I don't know if I'll ever write it that way. I don't know. I kind of go back and forth with the labels. You'll pick it up. Okay, everybody good? Okay, so here we go. B is between A and C, so let's draw a picture. Okay, I'm going to draw my picture over here because I know I'm going to have to do my math on the other side. So A and C are my outsides, and B is between them. This one's just like all our other ones. Let's label our picture, right? So what does it tell me to put in between A and B? 2y plus 6. And then from B to C, y plus 8. And then this time it did give me a total. So from A to C, the whole length is 20. So this is all our geometry right now. We drew our picture, we labeled our picture. The last part of the geometry is knowing how to set up the equation. So which rule can I use to set up an equation? So what do I know about segments and having totals? We did this before, right? What are we at? What? I just told you that. Told you it. Right? So what do I do with these two pieces?
You add them 2y plus 6 plus y
Yes, that is the geometry, is knowing those rules that help you set up those equations. So I'm going to add my two pieces. So that's all I'm going to do is I'm going to list it all out and add it. So 2y plus 6, and then plus y plus 8, and then it equals the total that they give me. That is geometry. And now we're on algebra. So draw your line, and we need to solve. I need to solve for y first. So combine your like terms for me, please. What looks the same? The y. So I have 2y plus y, 3y, and then plus 6 plus 8, 14 equals 20. Now you have a two-step algebra equation. In your sleep, people, please, if you don't know how to do this, please come tell me so I can help you, because this is like the start of all math. Plus 14 minus 14 goes away, and then 3y equals 20 minus 14, and then I divide by 3. Yeah, good. So y equals 2, and now I need to go back and I need to reread the problem to make sure that I'm answering everything they want. So they want, find the value of y and determine if B is a bisector. So I do have one more piece. They want to know, is B a bisector? So what does bisecting mean? It's in the middle. So how can I determine if B is in the middle? If y equals 2, then I have to plug it into each one of these sides to see if they're equal. Right? So I'm going to plug it into AB. So 2 times 2 plus 6. Right? That's AB. If you're labeling. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 6 is 10. So AB is 10. And then what about BC? It is, what, 2 plus 8, which is 10. So are those equal? So if they are equal, then B is a bisector of AC. On your homework and on tests and quizzes, all you will have to do is write yes or no. But officially, this is your complete math sentence. B is a bisector of AC, right? They always tell us complete sentences. That is a complete math sentence. You should be proud of that math sentence. You know, it took me like, when I was in college, when a teacher would write a sentence like this on the board using the symbols, like the math symbols, it would take me like all week to try to figure out what they wrote on the board. Like I wouldn't even pay attention because I was so confused. Anyways, here we go. Last page. What time do we get out of here? I need my little third period is 28. Oh yeah, y'all are good. So I will say the only thing about this is that we have to use this picture for like 4 different problems. So by the very end, it's going to be scratched out quite a bit. Okay, so don't get overly confused with it. And in fact, I might draw a couple more pictures. Who knows? Here we go, example 6. It says, let's go back to the picture. It says WY bisects UV at Y. So bisects means what? In half at Y. So Y is the middle. Right? That's the middle. So that means that from U to Y is equal to Y to V. Yes, those tally marks. The left is equal to the right. That's what it means by being in the middle. So, if YU, so the left, is 5, then what is the right? It is also 5, right? So YV equals 5. And then what is the whole thing, right? So U to V, that's the whole distance. If each side is 5, right? 5 plus 5 is 10. Good. Those are your two answers. That's example 6. Now, these numbers no longer exist because we're moving to 7. Or, wait, yes, 7. And I'm going to do it in green. And I'm going to try to zoom out a bit. Okay. Now, on this one, uy. So the left side is now 4x minus 3. And the right side is x. What did you tell me about the left and the right? They are equal. So put an equal sign in between the two sides. 4x minus 3 equals. So y is your equal sign. So whatever's on the left equals the right. 4x minus 3 equals x. Now you have an algebra problem. And it's going to be negative. I'm sorry, you're going to have to deal with negatives on this one. There's a way to keep it positive, but it takes like 2 more steps. What do you want to do first? I would move x. So minus 4x from both sides. They go away on the left, and I have a negative 3 equals. What number is out in front of that x? So I have 1 minus 4. Negative 3x. Keep those negatives straight. That's the hardest part on this problem. And then I have to divide by negative 3. And what is negative 3 divided by 3? Positive 1. Perfect. So x equals 1. Is that what they were asking me for? No, that's not what they were asking me for. So I have to go back and find uy. So way up here, u to y is this 4x minus 3, but hold on, because you told me it was equal to this side, correct? So if this side is just x, and I know x is 1, then what is the other side? It's also 1. So uy is going to equal 1, and I didn't have to do any math for that. And then uv is the whole distance, right? So if the left is 1 and the right is 1, then the whole distance is 2. Okay, are y'all completely confused yet? Or are we good? All right, we're going to keep going. I know it's going to scratch up quite a bit. Example 8 is going to be red. I'm going to zoom out so we can label. All right, this time they tell me uv is 18. So the whole distance is 18. This one's easy. I don't even have to go any further. If the whole distance is 18, what is the, what's one side? 9. Good. So you take the whole distance and just divide by 2 because it needs to be 2 halves. So each half is 9. You could have also read the rest of the question. You didn't need to, but you could have. If you would have read the rest of the question, it would have told you, hey, this side's 9, but they really didn't even have to put that there. All right, one more. Let's see. What did I not use? I used green. I didn't use purple. Here we go. Purple's number 9. Okay, so uv is, let's see, x plus 6. So now we're back up here. The whole distance is x plus 6. I know it's off to the side. We have to be visual on this. So my whole distance is x plus 6. And then u to y, this is the last one. So just the left is x minus 1. And we're just in purple, so no more red. Okay, I have to explain this one to you. Because once you see it, it becomes super easy. But until you see it, it's kind of hard. So they told me the entire distance from u to v is x plus 6. I'm not worried about that right now. I'm going to look at this part. Because they told me the left side is x minus 1. Okay? What if they told me the left was 4? If the left was 4, then what would the right have to be? also 4. So if the left is x minus 1, what does the right have to be? So put it there, and then you have 2 pieces, right? Then you have the left and the right and the whole thing. You know how to do that, correct? If I have both pieces and a total, so x plus 1, or sorry, x minus 1, and then the whole piece, then I can add and combine like terms, right? X minus 1, that's the left. I'm going to add that to the right, x minus 1, left and right. What is the whole distance? X plus 6. That's your equation. It looks crazy, but that's your equation. Left plus right equals the entire distance. Now I'm combining like terms. So x plus x is 2x. Negative 1 plus negative 1, negative 2 or minus 2, and then equals x plus 6. Get all your x's to one side, all your numbers to the other. I would try to keep things positive, so I would probably add 2 and get 2x equals x plus 8, and then subtract x. There are several ways to do this. I'm just showing you the way I would probably do it. 2 minus 1 becomes 1 equals 8, and that's my x. They want y to v. That is the blank side. So we said yv was x minus 1. Remember? We said it had to be because it was in the middle. The y was in the middle. So I'm going to plug in that 8. 8 minus 1 equals, so this equals 7. So that's the second part of your answer. I guess, I don't know. I wrote all kind of weird. I told y'all I'm writing weird today. All right, those are your notes. You have, let's see, 28. Y'all finished a lot faster than the other class. Hold on, what did I do?